what? Kaijus now? Starting to look like Pacific Rim in this mother... Alright guys, you know what's coming. It is Kaiju Chaos. I am so psyched. This is such a crazy deck list. I am so happy to finally be able to show you guys. This is going to be the side deck. We will do that last. This is the extra deck. We will do that next. But first off, I got to show you the spice. So we're going to hurry up and be quick. It is my anniversary with my gal, JoJo. So start it off. Interrupted Kaiju Slumber. We're going to go second. This build is... I'm going to turn this down a little bit so I can hear myself. So this build is basically trying to get through what super heavies are going to be pushing. They're going to be putting up fat boards with 4 or 5 hand negates. So we're going to need to be able to, 1, bait all their negates, 2, get through all their omni negates eventually, and be able to actually wipe through their board. So this not only baits out their negates, but let's say we use a Dark Ruler no more, negate all their monsters, and we just wipe them right away. Interrupted Kaiju Slumber. Also, when it's milled, since it's a Chaos deck, the turn after it's milled, you get to add a Kaiju from your deck to your hand. So that's gorgeous. You're going to keep adding interruptions and keep the pressure up. So, Interrupted Kaiju Slumber. With that, we're playing 2 Gamma Seals. We are playing a little different build from the other one, from our other Chaos build. We are going to be using another Tearlament. So Gamma Seal being an Aqua and only 2200 attack, all of our Bystials can actually attack over it pretty easily. Any decks that just try to put up 1 tower, towers aren't going to be good in this format, I do believe, because a lot of people will be on the Santa Claus / Kaiju / Sphere mode, etc. So you got to also expect that your opponents will also probably be playing Kaijus as well. We do play Raiden because he is the Dark and he is a level 7. So there is another level 7. The Wind one, or the Earth one, is a level 7. That's only 2400 attack. And you can use that one instead if you would like, especially if you're playing Asa. So you can play that. Any Kaiju that fits your build, to be honest. So with Raiden being a level 7, you can normal summon, you can Interrupted Kaiju Slumber, wipe the board, give your opponent your Gamma Seal, take Raiden yourself, and then normal summon your Raiden Lightsworn, mill 2, and then sync for your DPE, or not your DPE, your PEP, your Psychic End Punisher. So that's why it being a level 7 is good, and it being a Dark is just good for your Bystials. So if you end up milling them and you have nothing else to target, you can at least target your Kaiju to banish it to bring out your Bystials. So because we are playing Gamma Seal, we play the original 3 Tearlaments that we played in the first build, but we also are now playing Rhinoheart because late game, this is a normal summon Kaleidoheart if you have another Tearlament in grave, because later on I'll show you a little bit more, but when charge, just so you guys know, when charge mills a Tearlament, it actually does not set off the Tearlament's effect. So sometimes you will end up having a Tearlament in the grave with an effect that wasn't able to go off, and you will end up with a Gamma Seal. Gamma Seals are also Aqua. So if you're Kaijuing your opponent, getting over the Kaijus, you're going to end up having Aquas in your graveyard, and your Rhinoheart ends up being, if this card is normal or special summoned, you can send 1 Tearlament monster from your deck to the graveyard. That's how you make your Kaleidoheart. So we are playing that, along with 3 field spells, boop, boop, and the 1 Soliac. So it's nothing too much crazier. We are just playing the 1 Rhinoheart instead. We'll go like that. next up, you know what it is. It's a rank 4 mill deck. So we got your Ishizus. I was thinking you could even side out the shufflers or the millers, depending on whatever you're playing against. It hasn't come up for me yet. I haven't needed to, but it is always in the back of my mind if you need 2 extra slots, either the shufflers or the millers, or if you really need the slots, all 4. But yeah, they're still a big part of the deck. Anyways, Bystial Magnemite. I got a video, guys, coming up about how this is a 1-card board wipe. You play it in this deck, and that's actually how I figured it out. Long story short, Bystial Magnemite adds your Destrudo, and then that makes a Black Rose. So I'll explain it a little bit later. But yeah, Bystial Magnemite is broken, especially in this deck. It's a level 6. We play the 3 Druidist Worm only because we only have 1 Baldrake, because I've only pulled 1 Baldrake so far. I just haven't opened that many Photon Hypernova packs and haven't been to locals yet. But I would actually play 3 Bystial Baldrake instead because of its added effect, where if your opponent special summons a Ritual Fusion Synchro XYZ and or Link monster, you contribute 1 other light or dark monster, then target one of those special summon monsters and banish it. So we're going to be playing an XYZ heavy format, a sync heavy format. It even says fusion as well. So this card is good against branded, the Link monster against super heavy samurais, all the syncs and super heavy samurais, synchros and sword soul. Like this card, I believe, should be almost main decked in any deck that can actually play it because of how broken I see it being in the future. And I wonder, let's double check with Druidist Worm. If this card is sent from the field to the graveyard, you can target 1 special. So can you send, target 1 other light or dark monster, then target 1 of those special summon monsters, banish it, tribute 1. So you are sending. So I believe if you send your Druidist Worm with your Baldrake, you get to banish their monster, and then you get to target 1 special summon monster your opponent controls and send it to the graveyard. So those 2 together, that's actually pretty broken. Bystials, you might even need to play 3 of each in this build in the upcoming format, depending obviously how well Super Heavy Samurais, Pearly, Exosister, all those decks do. Kashtira is still running around with no ban list, so that is obviously the #1 enemy. Next up, that is it for your Bystials. So we got Bystials, we got Ishizu, we got Tear, and we got Kaijus. What's next? Obviously, you know me, it's got to be the Lightsworns. Charge of the Light Brigade. Whether it sets off your Tear effects or not, it is still the best card in mill deck, like graveyard decks history. This has got to be the best card. It's literally a mill 3 and add a level 4 or lower card that mills more. That's crazy. Whether you ditch it, whether you normal summon it, it's a mill 3 search. So it's just gonna set off. It's gonna add fuel to the fire, if you will. All right, so we play the 3 wolves. We cut Felice. Felice can't be special summoned by milling by a spell, so cards like Charge will not set her off. Also, we are not playing Solar Recharge in this build just because we want even more gas, less bricks in our hands. Just being able to go against the meta more consistently, that's the end goal. And I did build this deck around the primary 5-6 decks, that being Runic, Spright, Super Heavy Samurais, Pearly, Kashtira, and Branded. So we are now only playing 2 Raiden. I cut him back to play the 1 Lila. Just because the level 4 light doesn't necessarily need to even be a tuner to go into Chaos Angel. Plus, we are toning back from just going into Chaos Angel, Chaos Archfiend beatdown type. This deck is a little more control based and can do a little bit of everything really well. So we're not hyper-focused in the chaos aspect of it in the extra deck. So with Lila, if there's any floodgates, we don't, other than our field spell, we don't really play any back row outs, other than like your extra deck monsters, etc. But we're not playing Twin Twisters. We're not main decking any Cosmic Cyclones or Galaxy Cyclones. So we main deck the one Lila. It's a searchable floodgate out. 1700 attack also isn't too shabby, and it's a level 4 light, so does wonders in this deck. So that's it for the Lightsworns. Small package, but it's everything that you need. So those are the 5 main archetypes in this build. For extenders, we have Terraforming, Foolish Burial, and then we played Destrudo. So those are our extenders. Next up, we got our board wipes that we are main decking other than our Kaijus. Of course, we play the 3 Dark Ruler No More. Dark Ruler No More mixed with the Kaiju Slumber, like paired together, is beautiful. You negate all their monsters and you wipe their board. Also, you can negate all their monsters, and let's say you don't have a Slumber, you can still use your Bystial to get to your, well, I guess you can't really, unless you used your Magnemite on your opponent's turn. But, so that's the point, is to use your Magnemite on your opponent's turn, on turn 0, on your turn 0, we're trying to play as much as possible. So you do have the 1 Kelbeck, you do have the Havness, you do have all your Bystials, you want to get your Magnemite to get your Destrudo to your hand, unless you might want to get your Baldrake, but you get your Destrudo to hand so that you have that option, and then if you pull it off on them, they always know that that's an option, and that's like the 10th, 11th thing that you could do with this deck. So they'll hyper focus on that, and you're just going to slip a victory some other way. So yeah, your Dark Ruler No Mores, especially with the Super Heavy Samurais, I don't want to deal with it. I don't want to have to deal with them negating 4 of my 5 cards, if not all 5, and still having cards in hand. So Dark Ruler No More, just an easy main deck for me right now. And also the 2 Ghost Ogre and Snow Rabbits. These are Ash, but Ash doesn't do enough. I believe Ghost Ogre does more, especially if you could pop Super Heavy Samurai's Scarecrow, or even I believe it's one of the Pendulum monsters you can pop and actually shut them down if they don't have follow-up in their hand already. Plus with field spells, everything, Ghost Ogre I just like a lot more. It's a level 3 light tuner, so if you had to normal summon it, you could normal summon it to make your Black Rose, or you could even go into with 2 level 4s, you could use it to go into your Psychic End Punisher. You never know with the game scenarios, sometimes they get fishy. But it's also a light, that's why I really like it. It's between this or Nibiru half the time, but because you can activate this on your opponent's turn, on turn 0, to put itself in the graveyard, and let's say your opponent's not even playing light or darks, you can still banish your own Ghost Ogre to bring out a Bystial. So that's why I prefer to main deck the 2 Ghost Ogres. Right here, this is 43 cards. For me, selfishly, I want to try and get a little bit more out of it. So I like to run Rainbow Bridge and the Crystal Beast Turquoise Turtle, or whatever his name is. But I like to run that package just because I play Beatrice in this deck. And let's say you just get a couple Bystials out on your opponent's turn, because that happens a lot. You can immediately go into a Beatrice, drop the Rainbow Bridge to add a field spell and a turtle to your hand, and that will immediately set your opponent back. They know that they'll have to try and negate it, and if they don't have it in negate, then they'll just watch you start going off from there. It's just very nice. So that's 43 cards. I like to play 45 because I'm greedy, but if you want to play to the best of your ability, I'd probably stick with this. And then, like I said, probably 3 Baldrake over the Druid's Worm on this upcoming format. So, for the extra deck, I already gave it away. We play the Black Rose. Magnemite adds Destrudo on your opponent's turn. On your turn, Destrudo targeting your Magnemite, special summoning itself, paying 4,000 to make your Black Rose wiping the entire field. Obviously, you want to try and bait them out before you do all that, But this could also work as a bait. Yeah, you're paying half your life points, but with Psychic and Punisher, you don't really care. You want that. It's probably going to help you OTK that turn because you're not even using a normal summon to wipe your opponent's board. So, that's that. Because of that, we play the Rudy Rose Dragon. Yes, sir. It's a 10. We play level 4 tuners with level 6 dragons. This card, Synchro Summoned, you can banish all cards from the graveyards. You don't really want to do that all the time. But if you had to, you have to, you know. Then, and it also says you can. You don't have to. So then, if this card was Synchro Summoned using Black Rose Dragon or a plant Synchro monster as material, you can destroy all other cards on the field. So if you, let's say, made your Black Rose, didn't set it off, normal summoned your Ghost Ogre, and then went into this, then you'd be able to do it. I'm not saying that you're going to, I'm just saying you're still able to. You're still able to utilize all the effects, man. This deck is golden. Speaking of utilizing all the effects, sometimes your opponent or you will banish a monster you need back. So, Frame Lord Omega. Very easy to make in this deck, and helps you disrupt your opponent, helps you recycle your own resources, just beauty. Beauty for utility, disruption, and it's a beat stick at 2,800. Don't forget that. Next up, Nightmare Phoenix. So, we do not like floodgates, y'all. We freaking hate them. And this helps us smack them in the face through our extra deck. Just as much utility in our extra deck as possible. Speaking of, we got Underworld Goddess. Yet another Kaiju type monster. And we can reach it from our extra deck. So our opponent will never really see it coming unless they peek into our extra deck. Obviously, Cash, get out of here. Mud Dragon of the Swamp, because we are playing fusions. Same as the last build, why we play it. We do not play Instant Fusion because Instant Fusion alone, let's say they negate everything else and we Instant Fusion for Mud Dragon, we got nothing else on the field. It's useless. It doesn't get you there. So we dropped Instant Fusion. We have Garura, because these two come together. You already know it. Dragon's Stapelia. This will help us shuffle these back. Remember, this whole deck just shuffles itself. We have a new addition, Tearlaments Kaleido Heart. Big boy. Very easy to make. 2 Aqua Monsters and your Rhino Heart. So you normal summon Rhino Heart, send your Tearlament from your deck to the grave, setting off its effect, and using a Gamma Seal in your grave to make this big boy. And obviously do this when you got the field spell out, get a pop, get a shuffle, all that good stuff. Next up, we got a Baguska. No need to say anything. If they try to go into your turn and trying to disrupt and try and do some stuff, you can always go into a good old Baguska. Help you survive for at least a turn or two. Next up, we got Beatrice. Beatrice is so gorgeous. It is a gold rare, but you know what? Some gold rares, I'll give it to them. Some gold rares are nice, and that's a nice one. Okay. Next up, last but not least, it's actually not last. It's the second level 6 that we do play in the deck, rank 6. If you know, you know. If you don't, watch the other video. It's just really good for going second to help push through. Beatrice is more of a going first if you get 2 Bystials on board. Last but not least, for the XYZs, we have a Divine Arsenal Zeus. So you might be thinking, oh snap, that's only 13 cards, because we still need, boom, Psychic End Punisher, and a boom, Chaos Angel. Those are the final 2 cards for this extra deck, and onto the side deck. So, side deck. I almost cut this. I almost didn't want to play this because it's a 43 card deck. You might mill it, but you know what? They're side deck options for a reason. You need to put them in. This is almost an immediate shutdown. I know Branded got even better, but this is solely against Branded. We play the 2 Ash. We got Danko Seika for the back row decks. You don't need your normal summon that often in this build. Your normal summons are your Lila, your Merly, your Rhino Heart, and your 2 Raidens. So you don't even have that many. So you wouldn't even need to side any out, really, to side these two in. I already spoiled it. We got the 2 Nibiru. Yeah, man, it's a light just like Danko. You know, it's just synergy, Bystials. Chaos Hunter, dark synergy, Bystials. Because we're playing in a cash format still. I hate it. But also, this completely screwed over Gate Guardians. And I did this on his turn 1. So he got a 2,500 attack. I think it was Sujin or whatever. And I'm like, oh snap, he's just going to crash and then he'll be able to fuse. And then he passed turn and I was like, oh yeah. That was his turn 1. That was turn 0 that I did that. So Chaos Hunter for rogue strategies, for cash, for runic. It still has a place in my heart and in my side deck. We play Galaxy Cyclone because we do hate back row with a passion. So with the Lila, with the Planet Petalilinos, with the Dankosekas, we also are playing 2 Galaxy Cyclone. Harpy's Feather Duster is nice and is the OG to just wipe it all. But with a 43 card mill deck, we're probably going to mill it more than we draw it. And we don't really have a way to add it back to our hand. So we play Galaxy Cyclone. Not just 1, but 2 of them. We play 2 Super Polys because we main deck all the Super Poly fusion targets, basically. Yeah, Super Polys, 2 of them. Nothing need to be said. It's Tearlaments. You guys remember what happened with these with Tearlament season? Anyways, 2 Lost Winds, mill deck. I already screwed it. Okay, so I want to talk more about the Lost Winds. So I'll show you. Yeah, we play Abyss Dweller. Just in play, you know, for the mirror match, of course. Just in case we need it. We don't want to be caught with our pants down. Anyways, Lost Wind. Lost Wind, I've already made a video on this for Master Duel. It wasn't even a video, it was just a replay. But it's sweet. Lost Wind can steal you some games because a lot of people don't read the card. If you mill it, they won't even bother reading the card. If they special summon when it's in the graveyard, you get to set it. So let's say you mill it turn 0 and they special summon after you milled it. You can set it and then activate it on your turn. Either way, you can set it, activate it, goes to graveyard, they special summon, then you can set it again, and then you gotta banish it when it leaves the field. But technically, you got 4 copies of these if you end up drawing them. But even if you mill them, they're still useful. And going first, I would choose to side this in over a couple other cards. So yeah, if you're ever forced to go first after game 1, side in your Lost Winds. All right, that's it for the deck list, man. If you guys liked it, definitely leave a comment on 1 card. Let me know 1 card that you would take out and 1 card that you would put in, whether it's the side deck, main deck, extra deck, any of that. I like to test everything. I'll probably have a new deck list up next week. Right now, this is my favorite way to play Chaos right now. So if you guys liked, leave a like. If you guys want to comment, feel free to do so. I appreciate all y'all. I love you all. Have a great day. I'm going to go have a great anniversary with my baby. All right, see you guys. Peace.